Welcome to another Pokemon Online video podcast. Today I want to cover a few really cool things that we've been working on. First, I want to show you some of the tools that we're using to build Pokemon Online. These are publicly accessible tools because of the engine we're building to build Pokemon Online is an engine that we built in-house, and it'll be available eventually, so you yourselves can take the engine and build an MMO if you wish. In fact, you can build your own Pokemon MMO from the very tools that we're using. I also want to show you a new technology that we've been working on that we just finished implementing in the engine. We don't have a name for this, but I like to call it global map rendering, global map loading, or whatever you like to call it, GPS. Also, we're going to demo some of the maps that we've been working on lately, so they're just in the latest downloadable alpha. You can also test it there. If you haven't seen the map editor yet for the Valkyrie engine or Pokemon Online, this is our map editor. It's pretty functional. I've been working on it for, since the development of the engine, because there really wasn't any good tile-based map editor that could support what we needed. They were just really inefficient or too overly complicated for what we needed to do. So this is actually Pallet Town. You'll recognize this from Red or Fire Red. And our lead map developer has been working on this. He did a really great job, and I'm about to show you what this looks like in the game with the other maps. So essentially what I wanted to show you is the GPS system, the global map positioning system. What we can do is split up the game's maps into these chunks as you see before you. And at runtime, what we can do is define the world and where the maps go in the world. So effectively what'll happen is it'll take the chunks, draw them into the world, but the beauty of this is it can be efficient, because before what we were doing is the entire world was simply loaded into memory. Well, that's not scalable and inefficient. So instead what we're doing is we're loading only the map chunks that the player may possibly see. And as the player changes map chunks, it'll load the new map chunks surrounding that position as well. So I also want to show you Route 22, which is also finished thanks to our map developer. If you want to test out this map editor as well, you can get it off our website. So I'm going to go ahead and open Route 22. As you can see here, you'll recognize that this is Route 22 from the original Pokemon. Unfortunately, there's some collision issues here that we'll look into later, but essentially this is Route 22 from Pokemon. You'll see the cliffs here. Those aren't functioning yet, but they will be. And you'll notice it ends right where Pallet Town begins. This will be really interesting because what it's going to do is take it, line the maps up, and then it'll render them together so you can transition between map chunks. And especially when we get into the networking, when we develop the networking aspect of the game, it'll be really cool because what we can do is have a map chunk run on individual servers. So let's say if you were on Route 22 and for some reason there was a flood, or the server that was running Pallet Town crashed, the people on Route 22 would still be active and they would still be able to move around and play. This also, so that's something really cool that we're really looking forward to playing around with those ideas as well. So now that you've seen Route 22, I'm going to show you kind of how it works in the engine. I'm going to show you the map engine and how it pieces them together. This is Visual Studio. This is what we use to write all the code. So I'm going to go over to the Valkyrie game, which is our current game, and the world is actually defined in an XML file. So as you'll see here, there's two maps. There's our Pallet Town map, which is defined to go in 040 in the world, and then Route 22, which is above Pallet Town at 00. Essentially, once we have more of the world complete, there will be much more to define in this. In fact, there will be the whole world, but eventually, for right now, we don't have those completed. So now that I have those, I'm going to show you how those two map chunks are inserted into the engine and then, rendered at runtime. So I'm going to go ahead and run Valkyrie. Okay, so here I am in the world. You still see those animated flowers that you saw from our previous video. And here is the map chunk essentially that you were looking at in the map editor. See how it's rendered, and if you go up here, well, guess what? There is Route 22. It's pieced together, which allows us to have a completely seamless world. which means there is going to be no loading zones in Pokemon Online. You can walk through the entire world without loading a single time. The only loading you're going to be doing is transitioning between map chunks from exteriors to interiors of, from the world to houses, or from, the outside of a cave to inside of the cave. So there's really going to be absolutely no loading times. It's all going to be behind the scenes asynchronously, so the user should never notice a slowdown or a loading time. That's a huge difference from the other Pokemon MMOs, which only use portal systems. So I'm going to go ahead and explore this. It really feels nostalgic to be able to leave Pallet Town, go up through here. Like I said before, this is just the map engine. We haven't worked on the battle engine yet, or the overlays for the grass and all that. There's quite a bit more to do. But the fact that soon enough we'll have a networking demo where you can walk around the entire world with your friends without loading at all, that's pretty impressive. I would say personally that the engine right now is already superior to any Pokemon game that possibly exists. No one can possibly compete with our seamless engine. We're hitting the mark here. We're doing such an amazing job developing it. I'm really proud of my map developers for doing such a great job recreating the maps. Of course there's still lots of bugs here. Like if you look, once I leave the map chunk, the flowers stop animating, and that has to be looked into why that's happening. But just overall, we have so many great ideas and there's so much to do. So we hope you'll really take a look at and test our Valkyrie engine. In fact, you can get the Valkyrie engine itself on our Assembler page, so if you want to go ahead and try your hand at implementing your own game through what's of the engine so far, be my guest. There'll be a lot more support later, and we're really excited about showing it to you. Also, we want to let you know, if you're interested in joining our community, we do have an IRC where we release updates every day and we talk about the game as we progress. It's currently on PrivNet. You can access that. Here, let me bring that up here. You can access the PrivNet. It's irc.privnet.org, and we're in channel Pokemon Online. So, thank you for watching this video, and I hope you are excited about the project as we are, because we are going to finish this and it's going to be an amazing game. Thank you.